I've been thinking long and hard about what I've wanted to talk about in the last few weeks and whatnot, because I tend to struggle on coming up with something, because for me it's just me and my pets versus me and having children and everything. So I don't vlog as much, and I would vlog more, but in certain places I don't feel comfortable doing so because other people don't like to be vlogged, especially friends of mine within the dry bones community. I will put a link in the description box once this is uploaded, as to what dry bones is, who they are, what they do. They're a big part of my past and of course my present, but in a different way than what it was back when I needed the services and the help more 7 years ago than I do now. Now they're just really good friends that I like to hang out with every once in a while and whatnot. They have their annual Christmas party this year, I think tomorrow or Thursday, but because of reasons, I don't vlog a majority of my street friends or former street friends, just out of respect for them and their privacy and their wishes and everything. But with the staff don't mind. Matt and Nikki, Robbie, Joyce, Susan, and several other people don't mind me vlogging them versus the street youth. But several years ago, 12 years ago, I was diagnosed with lupus. And lupus is an autoimmune disease that can affect every single organ in an individual's body. Look at you. Come on, baby. Get out of the Lego bin. Sorry. But it's an autoimmune disease that I was diagnosed with 12 years ago. It's an autoimmune disease that, I'm so sorry, that almost killed me like 8 years ago. Within the first 2.5 years, it basically almost killed me. But thankfully, due to my quick action and medical treatment, that didn't happen. Part of my treatment included high-dose chemotherapy once a month for 2 years, and it gave me a newfound respect for people that have to go through the chemotherapy treatment, especially small, like children and everything. I mean, yeah, I was only going through it once a day, or once a month, I mean. So I can't even imagine what the side effects and the feelings were when your treatment has to do with 2 or 3 or 4 days of chemotherapy each week, depending on what you're dealing with, like cancer-wise or whatnot. Fast track to last year when I started noticing there's a little spider on my wall. Sorry. Fast track to last year when I noticed new symptoms cropping up that I thought was lupus related, but after testing and scans and blood work and whatnot, they referred me to the gynecology women's care clinic, who then referred me to genetics, because they had absolutely no idea what was going on. They knew that something was going on, but they didn't know exactly which avenue to take. It didn't really have anything to do with my lupus, although some of the symptoms were thought to be related to that. And I had been told when I was first diagnosed with lupus and stuff, right now, if you're looking at possibly starting a family or anything like that, or getting pregnant, we really advise you not to, because your body, in a way, is like completely out of whack. You're so sick that you probably wouldn't be able to carry the baby to full term, which I automatically knew, I don't want to have children right now because of what I'm dealing with. I always had the decision in the back of my mind that, yes, I would love to have children, but right now it's not the best time because of what I'm dealing with. The risks outweigh the benefits, even though they say that having a baby, it could wipe out the lupus completely to where you're completely healed or something. I haven't heard of other lupus patients having that happen to them, but of course every lupus patient is different. Everyone responds differently to different medications, and that takes me back to the chemotherapy, because when I was given that option, they basically said that, it's just touch and go. We just need to see if this will work because other patients have responded well to it. And I basically went through hell and back for almost 2 years, to where I was so sick that I didn't want to deal with it anymore. I just wanted to, let this lupus and the illness take me, because I was just at the point I was just at that time, I was at the breaking point where I was just is life really worth living if I'm going to be this sick all the time? But those were on days where I was really frustrated and really emotional and worn out, and going through what I've gone through has brought a new appreciation into my life, where I'm not taking every single day for granted. I'm just taking one day at a time and dealing with things not going the way that I want them to, and just dealing with it with a smile on my face and being like, well, you know what, if this doesn't work out, then it doesn't really matter. There's always something else to do. There's always something else to experience, and you just can't let things bother you. But going back to the moment where I was in the genetic office, they did tests to find out why I was starting to have hot flashes and missed menstrual cycles and abnormal menstrual cycles in the past year and a half. It became more apparent that something was going on, and we just needed to figure out why. So they did tests. They did the Fragile X, they did the Turner syndrome, and all the tests that they did, which were very limited because it costs money to have these genetic tests done. All of them came back negative for what they were testing. So that ruled out those things. They did determine that I was definitely going through premature ovarian failure, which in short is POF, or in other terms, early pre-menopause. That was last year around this time that I was diagnosed with that. And it's basically the exact same time where I'm starting to really have more symptoms of roller coaster emotions. My aggravation and my annoyance everything used to be level, and it would like go up and down, but now it's like up and down, up and down. There's not a night where I end up like stuck to my bed sheets because I'm having such bad night sweats. I'm not able to sleep. I don't feel that I'm able to sleep a full like 9 hours, 9.5 hours or whatnot. Because for me, I need at least 9.5, 10 hours of sleep, depending on how tired I am. And the last few months, I've basically have been going to bed like super early. Like right now, it's only 1 minute after noon, 12 noon right now, and I am so tired in the eyes that I could literally go back to bed right now. I did not want to get up this morning, but I've got the cats that I need to worry about. I need to make sure that they're fed, that their litter boxes are sifted out and clean. I need to make sure the hamsters have their water and their food and that their cages are clean. So it's kind of the same way of having children, but mine are four-legged and furry. So I still need to make sure that their needs are met. I need to make sure that I'm eating 3 meals a day. This was my breakfast. A big, huge cup of coffee. I am going to eat some food here in a moment. But I'm probably going to talk more about this premenopause stuff because I am only 35 years old, and I never, in my wildest dreams, would have thought that I would have to go through something like this so young in life. I remember when I was little, how your dreams and what you want to be and how you see your life, living your life and everything changed every like 2 seconds, or maybe even less than that, maybe every like 1.5 seconds or something. But when I was little, I wanted to be a professional dancer, and then I wanted to be a professional singer, and I wanted to be a model, and I wanted to be an action star in the movies. I wanted to have a husband and at one point when I was like 6 or 7, um, I wanted to have 100 children, and 50 of them were to be boys and 50 of them were to be girls. And it's just those like innocent, silly little dreams that kids have that are so sweet and everything, and you just can't like break it to them and be like negative Nelly about it, because that's what childhood is about, is having multiple dreams and hopes for your future and everything. And it's really hard in a way to look back and know that at one point I had wished that I had a big family and everything. I mean, while I might not be able to have children physically and carry them for 9 months and whatnot, there is local adoption available, and I'm actually looking into that, because I spent the first 6 years of my life in foster care, between family members and total strangers. And while my adoption into the family that I was adopted into wasn't like the most ideal family situation, without them, I would have probably spent my entire life in the foster care system versus the first 6 years. I did go through quite a bit of wonderful times and everything, but due to all of the issues and hostilities and differences growing up, and the mental and verbal abuses that I dealt with, I can't really remember a lot of the good things. I do remember being able to go to England 8 years, was it 8 years ago? Yeah, 8 years ago. I went to England, Ireland, and Scotland with my mom and my dad. My dad, who has since passed away, and has brought my mom and I much closer than I ever thought would happen. And I remember going and traveling all over the United States on my school breaks and having fun with it, and not realizing that I was having fun but also learning about the Gettysburg Address and Ellis Island and the slavery and the cotton plantations, and about our presidents in the past when going to Mount Rushmore and Niagara Falls, and learning about the Pueblo Indians and outer space and all that stuff. It's moments like that that I will always remember for the rest of my life, and I can't wait to instill that and do the same thing with my possibly adopted children or child, because I believe that there's so much, I mean, school, like public schooling and stuff like that is beneficial, but there's so much more outside the classroom and outside of the books that you can experience as well, and I would really like to have that as a opportunity for my child or children. in the coming years, but also having a deep appreciation of music and art and some sort of physical education, such as dance or karate or soccer or whatever. So I know it's kind of been often up and down, off and on with different like things, and it's basically how my mind works at the moment. And I apologize for that, but I hope that it'll get easier for me to stay on like one topic. But I just say everything that comes to mind, and hopefully this has some sort of enlightenment on it. I will put the links to what I talked about and all that stuff in the description box. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this. I look forward to talking to you again. Have a good day. Bye.